Welcome to The Vinyl Underground, presented by Crowd Control. This is Behind the Decks, your backstage pass to North Carolina's emerging electronic music scene. We're bringing you raw conversations, killer beats, and the untold stories of DJs shaping the underground. Plug in, vibe out, let's go.
I'm your host, Tony Technique, along with Tim Pinner. Joining us today is Kaÿ Wagner, a rising DJ in the electronic music scene who is not only making a name for himself here in the US, but is also recognized internationally in continents such as South America, North America, and parts of Europe. Welcome, Kaÿ, to the show.
First of all, thank you guys for having me. Really appreciate it. Like, the opportunity, you guys are like amazing, and the entire team has been really working on this. So my name is Kaÿ Wagner. I am a DJ and producer in the techno realm. I'm originally from Germany, Frankfurt to be exact. I come from a background of like collective mixed. You can call me the German Shepherd in a way, you know.
Well, German Shepherd.
Yeah. You know, I grew up in the underground pretty much of the techno scene in Germany with my grandmother, as I mentioned before on my Mixmag interview. My grandmother was a huge like electronic music person back then when electronic music was just like still starting. And I think that from her background of like metal and rock kind of brought her in, and that she brought me into this as a kid, you know. And when you're a kid, like frequency sticks, right? She was a survivor from World War II. I admired her a lot, and I still look up to her. I mean, my parents did an amazing job in raising me, and my grandmother was basically the one that kind of got that into my brain, and up until today, I owe her everything.
So what's your background? Like, you know, you say you're born and raised in Germany, but were your parents, you know, from different ethnic upbringing?
Yeah. So my dad is German, my mom is from Greece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this is why I see the...
That's it, the German Shepherd.
The German Shepherd, there you go. From Greece, right.
Yeah.
So this is why you just came from Greece, actually.
I just came from Leros, yes.
Oh, okay, good,
yes.
good.
It's a beautiful place, you know what I mean? So we go all the way back then. My mom is like Greek Egyptian. My dad is like German, and he's got some Holland and Dutch kind of background. So it's like I said, it's a mix, you know?
Yes.
And then that's me right here.
Right. Germany is like techno's influences everywhere, pretty much, right? I mean,
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah, it's everywhere, you know. I think it's mainly was made in Detroit, right? That's the mother of them, but I think we embraced it a lot more and developed it, you know, and now Berlin became a hot spot for techno culture, right?
Yeah.
If you want to experience techno, as you know, Tony, you just got back from Germany as well, right?
Yeah.
You gotta go there and just see
Yes,
for yourself, you know?
Exactly. It is a whole other, you know, environment there in which you just enveloped in the music. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've known Kaÿ. I've been to a lot of his shows. He knows I'm an avid supporter, and I think it's important to say he stands out amongst his peers. He's one of the nicest guys. He's authentic. He's good people. He's a good human, but I love his music too.
Thank you, man.
And I think we've always had a good vibe together. So thanks for being our first guest.
From what I've seen, I know that you've had a kind of a rough start with not with the DJing part, but I know when you first really started getting into your music production, you had some health issues and stuff like that. And, you know, let's talk about that. Like, you know, what was that like, you know, kind of, you know, struggling with past those challenges in your life, and also, you know, getting to the point in which you had a vision and you wanted to execute that vision. What was your passion that just drove you there?
Okay. Let's keep it real. I'm not going to give you the version of the podcast.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it real. It was depressing, to be honest. It was day by day, a rough day where your lifespan is slipping by the day and you don't know what to do about it, right? So you have two options: to sit by the wall and cry, which I really did. And there is the other option of like, screw it, you know, I'm just going to go live my life, and you don't know who you're going to meet and what kind of connections you're going to do. Now, was that a healthy mindset? No. Did I ask for support? No, I did not, because I was just raised that way, you know, let's put it this way. And I did not heal until recently. But it definitely those challenges made me who I am today. I want to say that the pain and the sadness and it became a part of my drive. You know, I'm not going to tell you the passion and all the stuff wasn't part of it, but it was not the main driver. It was the pain. Yeah. It was all that. The passion was driven from it, right? It's like two sides of the coin, right? And then upon sitting down and diving deep into the music, you find that all these emotions kind of collectively come together into one baseline.
Sure.
Right? And it's your job now, from experience, how to navigate through that baseline. And I've had over 150 projects that I just have not released with the world just because I thought that they were not good enough. And I'm going to tell you right now, for everybody who's watching this, if you think you're not good enough, you are. Okay? Just don't listen to that. You just it's a voice, you know, and that voice is coming from I don't know where, maybe a place back then that was told maybe not recognized, maybe not approved. You had to work hard to approve it, to get approved or something. Just heal from that before you try to project that into the world. You know what I mean?
And it shows in your music and your performances, especially in your performances. You look like you're really enjoying life and you're really trying to live life to the fullest. You know, I even feel your energy through the performances that I've seen, like on YouTube and stuff like that. You're just having so much fun. You're so enthusiastic, right? And also you're a down to earth guy, and I think a lot of that has to do with you know, your struggles that you've been through, right? And what it took to get to where you're at, right? Which you know, people who don't know you, you know, they can just assume that you know, you have a lot of positive energy that you're just trying to bring forth to the world, right? I mean, is that's something that, you know, especially with your DJ performances, you know, you're trying to and one of the ones that I was actually watching was the one at Club Input. Was it in Argentina?
Yeah, it's in Buenos Aires.
Yeah, and that was an interesting one. I don't know if you see.
Oh, of course, man.
I sent it over to you, right?
Exquisite.
Right, you play some dark tech
World
house.
class production, venue, video.
Yeah, really cool stuff there. Yeah. You know, you do know me from the techno side, right? But I think in a lot of ways, like a lot of DJs, like, or a lot of like even artists, sometimes they like, oh, it's about me. I'm here. I'm just doing my art. Either we stay or you don't. I don't really care. I'm just gonna continue doing my thing. I don't really agree with that kind of mentality, because at the end of the day, it's our job to be entertainers. It's our job to make sure people are dancing. Right. And if I'm doing something and people are not dancing to it, you know, you have two options: continue on that route, and then until you know. Okay, that's me. Or like, okay, you switch a little bit where you still keep your identity, right?
Yes.
And then provide something to people that can vibe with, and now you both meet in that journey. Because at the end of the day, you're taking them on a journey.
Yeah,
correct.
But yeah, that was an interesting one for me, honestly.
The Club Input.
Yeah, I had to dig a little bit deeper. I think the normal, in order for me to bring that energy forth in a way, even like just standing on the top, right, and just trying to vibe with people, and sometimes that's what's needed, you know. Actually,
I've seen a lot of your performances, your techno performances and stuff like that. On, you know, I even one time you had played. It was at one of the after hours place. It was before they had the new warehouse place now. At the arcade, I think.
Oh yeah, the arcade vibe. Yeah,
that was awesome.
That was a good one.
That's a unique place.
I remember that. And you played this like remix of gosh, what song is that? My girl wants to party all the time. I was like, I was like, I'm old enough to remember that one. Right?
That's the idea. Work. Right. The work.
So that was fun, and then I was like, that's like one of the first times I started hearing about you, and you know, I bumped into you every now and then in the London Bridge. I bumped into you and stuff like that. But then I seen, you know, then I actually saw the interview at the 88.1, how you mentioned, you know, playing some dark tech, you know, dark techno. I was like, dark tech house.
I know. What you love.
Dark tech house.
Yeah.
I was like, let me see what this is about, right?
Yeah.
Looked it up, looked at the video. I was like, oh, all right. And it was like really banging. I was like, that's what's up.
Solid genre, man.
Yeah.
Also, I think you also were telling me at another time that Argentina, some prefer kind of a melodic style, and maybe not just so it's almost like a genre within a genre.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was true or progressive melodic, if I recall.
Yeah, I think it's like the melodic techno. They love it there. They also love the tech house, the normal commercial tech house.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, they're like I said, they're a happy
Mood
culture,
spots.
and then they have a lot of reggaeton. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Because of the part of it,
yes.
so it's like similar
Latino.
to that. But they also like dive into the dark part of music,
Right.
and not too dark, but dark enough to keep them moving and vibing
Yeah.
because there is a lot of energy.
Yes.
Right, Captain, and they need an outlet for that, right? So a lot of DJs or artists overall, they go there and sometimes they don't fit. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
Like much bigger DJs, like they don't. We were like, this was not good. We have local talent, and they have a lot of really local talent. Like there, to be honest, across the world in every country I've been to, the local talent have always like just
I've noticed
captivated
that, man.
me, you know?
Yes,
Like
yes.
sometimes I'm like,
Plug
I
in.
am technically less gifted than you, and they're like,
Yes.
right, they're open enough for me, like the direct support.
Yeah.
Like I'm technically less gifted than that person.
Right.
Like, and I've got no ego enough to just say it like, hey, you are way more qualified to be where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? I'm just, it's everybody has their own journey.
Sure.
But if it was up to the talent, like you would be up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
But
great talent coming out of like Colombia and like Argentina, all these
True.
places.
crazy.
Right?
Crazy, man. Crazy. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've vibed to it. I dance to it. Sometimes I would just wear a hat. Like just unrecognizable, just want to go dance.
Taking notes and
Yeah.
whatnot, just taking notes, be like, all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what, man? If you, in any kind of way, and not just the music, if
Yeah.
you are unable to be inspired by anybody that is doing a good job because your ego is not letting you, you shouldn't be in that area,
That's one thing that we noticed in one of your interviews. He's talking about being a selfless versus a selfish DJ,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and expand on that a little bit so the audience can understand what that means.
A selfish DJ, it's somebody that is going to prepare a set. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with preparing a set, but somebody's gonna prepare a set and it's just like, this is my direction from 0 to 100, right? And even if the crowd is not dancing for 20 minutes, it's okay. I'm on that mission. And dude, it's not about you. I know some people pay tickets to come see the show, maybe you, at some point, I don't know, maybe the experience and this and that, but it's just not about you anymore, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, there is a direction to the party. It's a techno party. We're not gonna play reggaeton, right?
Right.
But there is an area where you can dig deeper a little bit, find something where people love, where you can bring your idea and style into it, and now we have a fusion,
Yes.
right, of an art happening right in front of our eyes
Right.
that cannot be replicated into other places because this is an experience. But if you put it and you practice it and this and that and that, okay, now you're just a robot. Because if I
Yeah.
bring a Spotify playlist and I just let
Right,
it play,
right.
Yeah.
that's the
Well,
same thing you're
right?
doing.
You're not putting your whole
Yeah.
like emotional, like you have a plan, you want to execute the plan, right? Because you have a vision of how you want the crowd to react, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's I can feel that. Yeah, definitely.
But where are you in that plan, right? Because you prepared the plan with sitting at home, right? But now the entire thing is in front of you. You predicted yellow, it's green. What you gonna do? You gonna continue with the yellow? Okay,
Yes.
that's a selfish DJ. You feel me?
Yes,
Like a
yes.
DJ that kind of goes into the color a little bit. They're like, okay,
Yeah.
we're here together. Let's make sure we're all going home satisfied.
Right.
You know?
I know I crave newness. Every now and then you hear certain DJs and they play the same stuff. And I mean, that's fine to an extent because probably 90% of the people there maybe haven't heard it. But you're kind of like, it's nice when you guys treat us to maybe something even a little different than your own and you bring it back home. And that's probably why we're still there to see you.
Yeah, but
But,
I mean, at the end of the day, without you guys, without the dance floor, the entertainers, the people and the dance floor and everything, all that,
You bet.
we do not exist. You know what? We just do not exist. What are we gonna play to an empty room? I'm gonna play home. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right,
okay.
right. Exactly.
When a lot of DJs these days they complain about the dance floor being empty, or the clubs are losing their clubbers, or the industry is dying.
Yeah.
Have you looked at yourself?
Yeah.
What you're
Correct.
providing, right?
Correct.
You're asking for a $50 ticket
Yeah.
for like a mild experience.
Yeah.
Oh, why?
I just read an article about that recently. How even like in New York, some of the clubs are dying and whatnot, and they're just not pulling in the crowd. And I'm like, what is that? And a lot has to do with that, man. That the DJs go in, they're not really. They're all about probably more than the recognition than actually
the attention.
provide the attention, rather than
yeah.
providing an experience, right?
Well,
and that's the thing.
So the attention is something you're gonna get. You know what I mean? Let's not play. It's gonna get it, right?
Yes.
I think the club culture right now is dying. That's my personal opinion. First of all, you got the bouncers now these days treating people like shit.
Yeah.
You know, and outside, you know, like give me your idea. Like, dude, can you be a little bit nicer to our people? Because you know there are the people that paying your salary.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
one, right? Second, you've got overpriced drinks, right? You can barely get any water these days, right? Into any place you go to, right? And you have to wait and this and that. And then on top of that, now you have to face like a DJ that is playing whatever you are playing or whatever the club tells them to play, right? And the club is just like, you play this or not, you play this or not. I understand. But how about we diverse it so people can do that, right? And like I said, it's a collective experience. And then when they clear the club, you'd be treating people like sheep.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, dude, why?
That's not good. They're the face of the franchise in some way. They're the host at the restaurant. Like, smile, be joyful every now and then.
Obviously. And then you've got the festivals, right? I love like, I'm a part of the festivals, you know? But recently, I think James Hype and a bunch of other DJs have been talking about pre-recorded sets.
Yeah.
Right? So what's a pre-recorded set? That's a set that you've already done at home with its high cues and everything. And now you're not press and play, and now you have to act that
Like
you are
you're doing something. Yeah.
Okay, that's not a music journey anymore, right?
man.
Where are we? We're not robots.
Right.
Yeah.
Just doing something, act for the camera. That's what actors do in front of cameras.
Yeah.
And guess what? They have to do it so many times over so many days to get the right shot.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is not how it is. If we're unable to do that,
Yes.
just sit home. Let somebody else that is working hard, more talented, willing to put their blood, sweat, and tears into the set, even if they're going to mess up. You know what? It's a part of the human experience.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. That's exactly. I mean, you have to, you know, being too perfect, you know, it makes it boring, right? I mean,
Seeking perfection.
Seeking perfection.
It's a downhaul, man.
So tell me what is the biggest challenge in the industry that you face? You know, either performing or touring or recording.
Oh, wow, that's a good question. I'm gonna try to answer it as much as I can. Well, first of all, I still work outside of my job. I still being a DJ and a producer. I still have a job, right? Because you know the expenses of that and the investing of that, it's needed, right? Yes. I'm not where I'm at the point where there are DJs asking for $40,000 per show. You know, we're not there. Right. You know, that's like 2-3% of the DJs. Everybody below that is grinding. Right. And I'm part of that grind. I want to continue grinding like that, and sometimes I'm mentally exhausted. Yeah, you know, you travel 14, 15 hours on an airplane, and you're like, you're sitting in an airplane. And Dom Dalla said at one time, like, if you want to do this, you got to be comfortable sleeping on a chair. I'm telling you guys right now, that is so true.
Wow.
It's not even funny, you know, like your lower back is going to suffer for a bit. I hope you take care of that.
Sleep is probably an issue too.
It's sleep definitely an issue. I've got bags, that's why I'm wearing these.
So you travel, then you come back for work. You work here, right?
Yeah, I work full time from home.
Okay. All right. So then you travel, you have to come back for work. Okay, well, you're working from home, so
so I'm basically based between NC and Miami, so I travel a lot between the two of them, right? And either way, really, I can tell you right now, like, you travel, you finish a show, and then you want a day to recover, but you don't have that, so you come back, and then you continuously working. So I will still be, but I'm working from 9 to 5 and 5 to 9 because we have a record label. Yes. Me and my team are continuously working, trying to open like opportunities. There's always something to do. Yeah. And team of Berlin Records, thank you guys so much for everything, by the way. I love you guys. Yeah. But yeah. True. So it's like without that team, we can't do anything. You know?
How long have you had the label?
The label have been established for 4 years now, but we have been independently operating for 2. That label was produced in Germany, founded in Berlin by Darius Fatz. And, you know, we had to operate under that label with him for a while due to international matters and not being able to be here or be there at the same time. I was like, okay, we will separate for a little bit. And Berlin Records became an independent label under myself, and then now we have the Canada branch, we have the Argentina branch. We even are opening the Cairo branch in Egypt right now, and we still have our German branch. So it's we're expanding, right, and we're growing. And however, there are a lot of challenges in it, right? Yeah, obviously, you got financial challenges. You've got staff challenges, right? Everybody's have their lives because we're not operating our full time, staff all the time, right? So you have to
work around.
Everybody has their lives, right? So we have to wait. But I think a big challenge for me right now, to be honest, is I am mentally kind of fried in a way. Of
exhausting sometimes.
trying to do so much. Yeah. And I'm an ambitious Capricorn. Yeah, and I'm an ambitious Capricorn.
You need rest. Every now and then.
Tell that to my
maybe not as much as some, but
what's your birthday? What January what?
January 5th.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell that to my Capricorn side, that doesn't want to sit down.
It's like my mom, she's a Capricorn, she's the same way, but but they're good with money. Capricorns are excellent with money, but let me tell you.
Nice. That makes all Capricorn except me. I'm not that kind of Capricorn. I'm trying though.
But yeah. That's awesome, man. Like the challenges, I mean, because I hear stories and stuff about, people get into the industry and they get to certain places and whatnot, and they see, all the politics and all that stuff that happens with labels and releases and, trying to get people to book them, all kinds of stuff, and I was wondering, exactly, what you've seen in that regard, but
we're trying to change that. So the idea with us is how we work is right now is that, like I told you at the beginning, before even the recording and everything, we love to work with people that have done something for themselves, right? So the minimum when you come to us is more like, okay, do you have a press kit? Right, that's like the least you do. I have a press kit, have a resume, right? I can look at, and then have maybe 1 or 2 tracks. Maybe they're not perfect, but the sound itself at least fits, right? So you've researched my sound a little bit, and you're like, okay, these guys do this, so I'm gonna maybe try to go with them, right? So you're not in the tech house and you're trying to go into the techno area, right? So it's like okay, you gotta find the balance.
Yes,
these are the little things we look for. Outside of that, everybody's welcome because the music is to be shared, Right. And if we cannot do that, then we should just close and do it, But everybody have their way. Everybody has their thing. What we're trying to do, we're trying to leave an impact. Leave something behind. Make sure that people going home happy from our parties.
Yeah, and they do. That's what's fun about you is, and your track selection's always good. Your own productions.
Thank you.
So that
means everything.
Berlin Records. That sounds epic. 100K Berlin Records. How'd you pull that name off?
Honestly, like I said, it's
like somebody would have thought of that great name.
Yeah, that wasn't me, to be honest.
Well, either way.
It was a collective effort between me and Dario. We were just sitting down one night after a show in Berlin, and we were like, hey, you know what? It would be cool if we have something in Berlin here. And we were like, we could go probably to a record shop. Yeah. I was like, hey, bro, that's right there, Berlin Records. Yeah, let's run it.
Right. That's great. It's international and it's thought-provoking. You're like, I want to learn more about this. Yeah.
I noticed some affiliation with some other labels that you've been working with, probably like Techno Crudo. Is that something you guys work with as well, or?
Yeah. So actually, it's affiliation. We've collaborated with a bunch of labels.
Oh, okay.
Recently, honestly, the biggest achievement that I've had so far, it's like on the label side, is Tragedy. That's a label from Teenage Mutants.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, they're huge.
They
honestly.
are.
They're huge. Yeah,
That's
so
good tracks.
Yeah, so they I'm going to release with them with my brother from Italy, Danny Fontana. Yeah. We're gonna release Starlight on April 11th. Nice. And that track honestly means a lot. We've been working on that track for quite some time. We've done a lot of work, and Danny, thank you so much again for doing a lot with me. It's all coming together, and obviously like the Mixmag interview that I just did across 5 countries and across South America have been incredibly life-changing. Like I've done it like a year ago, and then I've done another one this past month, and honestly I couldn't do it without you guys. Like I'm talking about like the support and the recognition and all these things, so again, thank you guys so much for like inviting me here to be able to talk about my journey. That means a lot. Yeah,
You bet.
yeah. Thank you.
One of your releases was for the song "Wanted." You did a music video.
Yeah,
Tell me about
yeah,
that.
yeah. I did that actually in Buenos Aires. It was a quite interesting one because I met a couple from Brazil and Italy. Right, he's a photographer and videographer. Right, very talented.
Oh God.
Yeah, so it became a collective where an American, a German, and a Brazilian and an Italian came into one place, and an Argentinian, Emiliano. And like we were all thinking, like, how can we pull this off? We heard the song like 15 times, and we're like, okay, you know what? Let's shoot some drones. Let's
Drones.
it's a drone shots, right?
Yeah.
Let's get. Let's.
I was trying to figure out the angles. It was like, all right, he's walking and stuff like
it's like
that.
running away, you know. It's like
Yeah.
running away and
World
finding
class.
myself into a nightclub.
It's a nightclub. It's like, oh, he's in there rocking it now. Woo.
No,
It was
now we're
hell,
going.
too. And that club was off the chain. The
And
lighting
it
was
looked like it was
therapeutic.
kind of shut off because he was walking in the club and then somebody was looking at him like, who's this guy, right? And then you get it behind the decks and like, all right, he's rocking it. So
Yeah,
it was like that type of stuff.
production, man, and track, of
That's
course.
the whole
awesome.
thing was just like, just staged that way. And honestly, it was natural because, in Buenos Aires has a huge energy.
Yeah.
And you can feel it the moment you land in it,
Really?
Yeah, so like in Palermo, and I'm gonna do a show there soon next week.
Did you say Palermo in Sicily? Or-
Palermo, Buenos
Oh,
Aires.
Palermo. God, make sure I heard
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
You're jetting around.
Yeah, well,
Maybe Palermo one day. Yeah.
I think I need to specify specifically
Yeah,
going
just,
forward because I got
right.
that questions about
Yeah.
that.
Equally international and awesome.
yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Italy is
Yeah, we were talking about actually Berlin earlier in regards. I mean, have you been there recently, or have you? I know we were talking about the music scene over there and everything like that. But what do you think about the scene over there and how you fit into that?
insane. It's crazy. Yeah, I go there every now and then, but when I go there, I'm just like not announcing that I'm going there a lot because I want to experience the underground. You know what I mean? And I do have fans there and stuff like that. And it could be sometimes hard when you're like doing shows and stuff like that. Everybody wants to do something. You get preparations. You don't get to enjoy much. You know, especially going back home. It's just like, I want to go back home. Like, I go home and just enjoy the time with my mother or stuff like that. Yeah, but
I stay low key.
Yeah, staying low key very much. Yeah. Staying low key in it, but like it's insane. Like the culture there have incredibly evolved, and I'm so proud of it. But I think it needs some sort of honestly protection recently, because a lot of people are trying to commercialize it. They're trying to profit off of it.
Yeah.
Berlin, you know,
sense. Makes
like
sense.
no, let's just leave the culture as it is.
Yeah.
We love
Yeah.
low cost entry to free entry.
Yes.
Yeah.
We love great vibes. We love great DJ. We
They've
love
been
great
closing
music.
closed a lot of clubs down
Right.
too.
Yeah, we love the underground.
Yeah, the underground. That's
Yeah,
what,
let's
It's
keep it.
becoming
Let's
politicized and all
You
that.
go do around. It's like I'm in Berlin.
Yeah.
I'm doing this, and I'm like I love it so much. Thank you so much for that. But we also love the culture.
Yes.
On that note, I was going to ask, haven't traveled through Germany as a kid, but Dusseldorf, Hamburg, is there a city kind of like Seattle hits different than Boston, which is different than Miami, and great DJs travel to all these places, or Denver, whatever. Are the other cities? Do they have a sound, or is it a kind of a mimic of Berlin vibes? Because collectively, Germany probably falls into that category. Is that something you could answer?
I wouldn't be able to answer it collectively
Just
because
curious.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've been living here for quite some time, so obviously
Yes.
things changed.
Yes.
However, going back to Frankfurt, I think I saw a lot of like involvement in the sound.
Yes.
That definitely the techno side, right?
Yes.
There are a lot of like I want to say like in Frankfurt, there's a lot of some top 40 clubs, obviously like everywhere,
Sure.
working about the money and stuff like that. But the underground, it's still the underground. You'll find amazing clubs everywhere you go in Germany.
That's all.
Because the sound itself is refined, right?
Yes.
And you will find a lot of authentic,
Yes.
and I want to say authentic dancing culture
Yes.
in the country.
Regardless of
regardless
city,
where you go.
the vibe
yeah.
is kind of
yeah.
good
No,
at wherever you go.
beautiful. You know, it's beautiful to witness and also
Yeah.
precious to protect. You know,
Yeah.
so like that's kind of what I mean by protecting it.
Yeah, and in Europe too, you have a lot of. Europe is. It's not as small, not as big as the United States. Almost as big as the United States, but you have different cities. Like you have like maybe the German sound like Berlin, and then you also have Amsterdam and their
French.
sound, and
Yeah.
France,
Yeah.
actually French, French,
They're off the chain.
and Italy, and all these places. So I know I've experienced some different sounds in those areas. So it's a little bit more probably widespread in regards to different sounds from different places. Because you mentioned like New York as compared to Miami, as compared to LA.
Yes.
So it's interesting to hear all those different sounds coming out of those cities. But your performances, man. What do you do pre-performance? Like what gets you hyped? What say? Okay, I'm gonna go out there and rock this place. What is it?
I like that question, to be honest. I think first of all, I like whenever I'm going to a place I'm not familiar with, take me to a club. Take me to a place where first of all, let's walk the city. Second, take me to a club where I get to see the people, what they vibe to, what they're dancing to.
Get to learn the culture.
I'm an observer.
Nice.
I just walk back and observe. Like just observe, right? Because it's like a data storage, right? It's just a boom. You get that?
Start geeking out on it, like my man over here. He geeks out on everything, man.
Love the man.
He'll deep dive into something. He'll just talk about it for hours. But that's awesome.
Nerd fest.
Love it. Love it. I observe. Go home, do some research on my tracks. Okay, what could fit, what's not, and then start visualizing. Right? Visualization is like a huge thing for me. I've played professional football for a while, so
maybe whenever you want, but that's very curious and intriguing.
Visualization has always been a thing on the field. It's off the field, right? The same thing. And now visualization in the club and outside of the club. So you visualize the track that you're gonna play, how people are gonna react to based on the experience you have in the dance music. And I think that's something that is missing, because you visualize that and you're like, okay, I'm gonna visualize myself playing that track 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Now that's the preparation you want to do, right? And you're like, okay, I'm willing to give it a try with this and see how it is. And
Turns out.
And I think also not being scared to take risks. If it's a track you never played before, it's okay to bring it in the right moment. Obviously, that is up to your experience,
right?
And then we can see if the people vibe to it. If not, then we could take back a step. But if not, if yes, then you just took a risk and
it worked out.
If you don't take a risk, then
you never know.
You're scared. If you're scared, you shouldn't be up there,
right? Yeah.
Okay, because you're there to take people's fears away, not to project it on them.
Right.
So that's something that fuels me, and I think that is along with visualization, like I said. I think track selection, right? That's very important to me. A lot together, it brings an experience. Now I have an idea where I'm going. What's happening inside that idea, we'll leave it to the people to decide with us. We have a structure, but we don't have a map.
Got it.
The map will be drawn as we walk together. But I have the route. I know where we want to go, where we're gonna end. But where is the inside?
Yeah.
You guys let me know.
Right.
And then I will take that from you.
Yeah.
Make it into my style and bring it back to you,
got it.
you get to enjoy it, and I get to feel like I'm bringing myself to you.
Yeah.
And we both are having a great time.
It's a reciprocal thing, right? It's a reciprocal thing.
Amazing.
And you feel the energy from the crowd, and you get the energy back, and then you project it back to them, and then you see how that's going to work out. Yeah.
You'll have builds because you'll make a 3-song collective. Maybe it's start to finish, but not every song has to be a banger, right? There's a transition and a journey and how you mix it all together. And I think you're good at that. Albeit I want to shake my booty to every track you play, but I've noticed that, and I think you do premeditate in ways, and then you chipped on the fly as needed.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you for realizing that. I'm a big fan of letting people breathe. Even on the dance floor, just let them breathe. You brought a couple of bangers, and now people are dancing.
Yeah.
It's time to just give them something.
Give them a break.
Just let them breathe. Let them feel. Give them a break. Let them breathe. Let them dance. Let them enjoy. Let them talk for a second.
Right.
Let them get on their phones. Let them do their thing. Don't try to control it.
Right.
Because the more you try to control, the more it's gonna slip away. Your ability as a DJ or as an artist is to let people be, but then bring him back when you want them to come back. Right? You have to have the ammo to do that. Yeah. Without the ammo, what are you doing on a battlefield?
Right.
You're right.
Yeah.
Nice. It's like, what are you doing? Right. Yeah. You just let people breathe, let people be.
Yeah.
And then be like, okay, guys, enough breathing. Come back.
Come back.
Come back. Now it's time to dance again, because that's what you're here for. So it's like you're a guide throughout the night.
Sure.
And I think that's one thing that a lot of DJs a lot of artists these days just forget.
Yeah.
You know,
Vibe management is what I call vibe management.
Yeah,
Managing the
that's
vibe
a
in the
really
room.
good term, actually. Vibe management. Let's manage the vibe.
And it's perceptive.
Exactly.
It's not
You're
being
engaged.
selfish.
You're engaged,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's the engagement, right? I mean, it's like you were saying earlier, you know, you have DJs that go up there, they may have some pre-recorded sets, whatever. They're not engaged at that point. You know, they're playing what they think, you know, is going to be good or whatever. But in order to engage with the crowd, to get the energy back and say, right, maybe we're going to take them this way now. Maybe we're going to take them that way now, right? I mean, that's what a real DJ does, and interacting with.
I think being sober also helps a lot.
That's a big one, man.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, on that note, straight edge your whole life, evolution from days of past partying and staying up too late, or because either way, it's an amazing accomplishment, and I know that adds to your focus and allows you to be the concise, crisp brain that you have.
Yeah, you know, we've all done a bunch of stuff. You know?
Fair enough.
I mean,
Okay, so
you know,
thanks for
like,
telling.
nobody's
whatever.
ain't an angel.
Yeah,
you know,
no
in that
judgment.
industry. Come on now. You know what I mean?
All three of us. Probably.
Yeah, everybody.
We share our.
Everybody that walked into a party a couple of times, like, I'm gonna try that. You know,
Correct.
you know,
Not
we all,
essential.
like,
Sometimes we just.
Yeah. I mean, we tried a bunch of stuff. Some yes, some no. But
Yes,
you know, at the
fair
end
enough.
of the day, you find what works for you and what doesn't, right? And for me, it found out like just nothing works. You know, I was like, nothing works but a Diet Coke.
Water.
Yeah,
That's
water
fair.
and a Diet Coke. Not even water. At this point, it's just a Diet Coke. You know, give me a Diet Coke next to me, and I promise you, I'll give you the best performance ever. You know, I mean, I've seen experiences with DJs like they come in fucked up, right? And excuse my language, but
Correct. No,
Yeah,
it's-
that is.
they
It's
come in
true.
with like a bottle of tequila half gone, right?
wow.
What are you doing? Like I can hear it in your voice, not smell it. I can hear it. You know, it's talking to me. Like, calm down.
Yes.
Like you have a responsibility. Like if you can manage yourself, that's cool. But what are you doing?
At that point, you know, if you get like that, you're pretty much inside your own head and you're not really engaged, right? Because you're just, you know, telling yourself, damn, I'm kind of messed up or whatever, or, you know, looking to see, you know, if you can take that next drink or whatever.
Yeah.
And I get what you're saying, man, because, you know, the focus and the interaction, it draws a lot of energy from you as well.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you have to be, you know, that focus to say, okay, this is the performance I want to bring, you know, and the engagement I want to bring. So
Yeah, it's that, and I think it's also responsibility. You know, like how responsible you are, and how professional you are.
True.
Some people are taking this as a hobby.
True.
Some people are taking this as a job.
Yep.
And I think for me, even as a professional, as a DJ, as a producer, as a label head, and
Yes.
just a dancer, if I see a DJ like I just standing there, I'm drinking water while I'm in a rave. You are getting messed up in front of me, and you are supposed to be guiding the night. I ain't trusting you.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
I love you, but
Right. Very few can be functional.
This is the
to that
fifth
extent.
drink, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Right,
come
right,
on now.
Yeah, yeah.
We can
Takes a
party.
toll.
Yeah.
We can party, but you don't show up to the job
No.
wasted. You feel me? Like,
I agree 100%, man. And
Yeah.
that's something that in my professional life, because, you know, I've never ever like say, oh, you know, I'm gonna have a whatever drink before I go to work, whatever. Never, man. That's just
Correct.
that just make no sense.
Right. Just because DJing is a party vibe and they may be partying, that's it doesn't.
know?
It's a job, right?
Exactly.
or a
I love
hobby
it.
that's-
I love you guys
yeah.
for saying that. Thank you. Like,
Yeah.
like thank you for like being even like part of the dance floor and recognizing that, because
Of course.
I always tell my team and I tell like people that come and ask me for advice sometimes, and by no means like I'm nobody to give an advice to nobody. Like if you come and ask me, I'll give you my peace of mind, you know. But if you treat this as a job, yeah, you will grind. It will be hard, you know, but eventually it will pay off like everything else.
Yeah.
But if you disrespect yourself, how are people going to respect you?
True. That is words of wisdom right there. You have to show respect for yourself.
Nobody's perfect. We all gonna make mistakes, you know, and I've made a lot of mistakes, but I learn from them. I really, really do. And I'm hoping to every DJ out there, like if you're trying to make it, look, I have not made it yet. Nobody makes it. Do we really make it? Because we always have to like work. But if you like even want to get close to the point where like I'm doing something right, do something right before you get on, so you can do the right thing when you're on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you don't, it's all gonna just come together.
Message.
Then you know what? Somebody's gonna see a bad performance because you messed up, or you are wasted, you're drunk, whatever.
Or
exactly. Boom, your career it's before it started, it ended. You know, now you gotta go back to perform in a bar where the bar owner have to tell you what to play, right? Can you play Beyonce? Okay, well, there's nothing wrong with playing Beyonce, but if that's the kind of DJ you want to be,
Tim likes Beyonce.
I love Beyonce.
I'm so jealous.
Beyonce is a great artist. I love Beyonce.
Tim's a Beyonce.
Love Beyonce.
Come on, Tim.
All right, I'll fake it. There's going to be a remix he'll do one day. And it'll just be 1/millionth of her input. But
I would be honored to do a remix for Beyonce. I would be honored to do a remix for Beyonce. It's not even funny.
No, of course.
You know, but that's what I was talking about. Beyonce is a great artist, has her own style, have you know, like amazing fan base.
Sure,
right?
sure.
Enormous.
Good is good.
Exactly,
Whatever
right?
it is.
But would I play that where I go perform? Absolutely not. It's a different thing. But that's what I was talking about, of bringing maybe that into my style and making a remix for it.
Yes.
And now we can present it to a way where I can play it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Exactly.
again, that's the idea. But if you're playing like all the single ladies, the track by itself, the record by itself, or original mix,
That's
right?
a jam.
We can play that in
That's a jam.
Relentless on it. It's so not me.
I'm just kidding.
No, I'm kidding. I know you are. I know you are.
I would love to play that at 5 a.m, but I
From
can't.
film, I just wanted to own sincerely. But yes.
I get it. Keeping the focus, because if you're the type who's going to be doing stuff, whatever, and going into your job, you know, you're not in that right frame of mind. It's mental health as well too. Mental health is important, man. You know what I'm saying? Because mental health, you know, if you're going up there and you're constantly, you know, drinking or doing whatever, you know, your mental health is already shot, and now you're thinking about trying to take it to the next level and be, you know, successful and all these things. You're going to have a hard time, right?
Self-love, right? I mean, I think it also, you know, I think a lot of us would be self-critical because we know we're not really living our best life. And it may not be that bad. Some people are semi-functional and probably can have a beer at the end of a set maybe or something, but that's unimportant. I know when I'm dancing, say in front of you, or 2 hours could go by. And even though I like to have a few, maybe I feel loose, you know, it's not important, man. I'm having fun, and you got me sober.
But that's...
I don't want to leave, you know? Might be guests, hey, do you want to go get the next 3? No, I'm
But
chilling,
even if
man.
you want to let loose completely, that's what you're there for.
You don't need it.
You know what I mean? That's you. No, that you would love. I would love for you to be. It's okay.
Right, of
I'm
course
talking
it's
about.
okay.
It's my responsibility.
Yes.
To let you be that way. You know what I mean?
Should.
Super or not, it's entirely up to you.
Yes,
But
yes.
you are coming here to have an experience. I am
bet.
here to provide the experience.
Yes.
Right. If I am here to provide the experience and I'm messed up, right? How am I supposed to provide something for you? You know, that is worth it. You know?
If I can say this, I mean, I was so impressed about just his going through the tough times. I don't have to say what it is, but guys, what he went through, I mean, it's a coin toss, 50-50 chance.
You wanted to find out about the soccer?
And the soccer
football,
too, yeah. I mean, if I recall, Dubai was in the mix in some way. Was it a soccer team that was a semi-pro?
It was
team
Qatar.
It's Qatar. Okay,
It's Qatar, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
right.
it's Qatar, yeah.
So, well, I'm kind of close.
Yeah. Right
that was
next to
really specific, but yeah, that was intriguing to me. He's an ex-athlete, injury, it was cancer. I don't think that's the worst bad thing to say, but that can just hit out of nowhere, and you can have a brilliant mind, and your life changes. And so,
Everything.
I think the strength of your parents, as you've said, you don't always follow everything your parents say. That helped. And then you challenge yourself, which is, you dug deep. That could crack a lot of people. And not everybody has that attribute.
It did for a while, man.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it did. Like I said, you had to bring strength out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, in a lot of ways, you know, and as an immigrant, I've been living here by myself for 9 years now.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Courageous.
Time passed by, man.
while.
So like I'm around traveling, I've been traveling obviously a lot, but like just based in America as an immigrant, I don't like, you know, being away from your family and stuff like that. You don't have a lot of support for that. You know what I mean? Like where you could just drive back up to mom or dad or
Exactly. You're self-sufficient.
Yeah,
On that note, I was
be.
going to ask you, close to it geographically, Cairo, Egypt, sound like some intriguing.
dude,
What a discovery, huh?
it's insane.
It's a great city, but as far as house music, what did you feel from the people? Or
It's insane. It's insane what they have right now. You know,
Is
they had Adriatic like last
wow,
last week
that's-
by the
love 'em.
pyramids.
I love them.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
and 15,000 people, man.
Oh.
Like, you know,
Is that the one where they filmed it, the Hatchup set? That was a Circle thing I'm thinking of, but they also did something.
Yeah, man, they do crazy stuff now, you know, and the energy there is insane. Like I was just talking with a guy there today. We're trying to do some our own takeover in a club there, you know, now.
Wow.
You know, instead of a performers, you know, just bring the Berlin vibe, Berlin techno and Berlin records into, you know, Cairo and do a fusion of cultures, right? And we do that in Chile, I want to do that in Argentina. I want to do it across the globe. That's my dream.
Yeah.
You know, fuse our passion, our nature, what we do into different cultures, different people. Bring people into one place. Like, okay, I don't know what I'm expecting,
Right.
but I've seen some stuff, so now I'm open a little bit to see it, and now make them lovers of it, right? And I know that in America there's a lot of bass music, right?
Yeah.
It's like a majority here, I think. And I love bass music. I could listen to it. I think when I came to America, I started listening to it a lot more. Not with anything, but it's definitely different than techno, you know? And I think what I want for somebody that loves bass music and like, okay, I don't want to listen to techno, is to convert them into like, oh, you know what?
Yes.
I don't mind that genre.
Right.
I want to listen to it. That's my dream. That's what I want to do is make you love something that you were afraid of. Because again, at the end of the day, I'm very grateful to my illness. You know, I was scared of it, and now I'm very grateful to it, because without it, I wouldn't be mentally, I wouldn't be here. You know, emotionally and all that way, I wouldn't be self-sufficient like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So sometimes
That's
the thing you don't understand is the thing could be the source of something that can bring you happiness.
Yeah.
You know, and
Catalyst you needed, maybe. Yeah.
you just don't know.
No, that's
So,
well said.
Yeah. So, thank you, man. That's cool. That's cool that you brought that up.
That's good to know. Because what would be your ideal situation, let's say in 5 or 10 years from now?
Ooh, okay. You know, I am still working on that plan, because like after recovering, I learned that you can have a 15-year plan, and in one day, man, everything could change, you know? And instead of going right, you're going to go left. You know, you just don't know. Yeah. But if I was to say, I want to leave a legacy, I want to have an impact on the world.
That's good, yeah.
In terms of electronic music, in terms of a person really, but like electronic music, techno, I want to bring people together into one place and be like, hey, this is something maybe you haven't experienced before. Let's experience it together.
Yes.
And we're providing that for you. You know, I want to be the person with my team to be like, hey, we're going to do this together, you know, and we're going to make sure that you enjoy it, right? Because we have put so much thought process into that.
Yes.
It's maybe my dream is to perform in Tomorrowland, perform in Ultra, you know, perform in these massive ADC in these massive festivals, and bring my sound into reality with it.
Right.
Hoping I could get the opportunity one day.
From what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing and the research that we've done, you know, we're impressed with what you're, you know, the direction you're taking. And I wish, you know, we've come across a lot of DJs, Tim and I, we know people. Tim's probably know more DJs than I do. You know, he knows people from, you know, other states and countries as well. But, you know, just to hear someone's story and is a positive thing, because a lot of DJs, you know, okay, you know, it's all about them and whatnot, but it's also, you know, but you want to hear someone who's like, look, man, I'm just out here and I want to, you know, put my stuff out, and at the same time, you know, I want to make people happy. I want to make people party.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Kaÿ, tell us where people can find you, you know, where your upcoming tour dates for the rest of the year. I know you're probably going to be traveling around a lot.
I mean, you know, anywhere you DM me, I'm always my DMs are always open, you know, like I'm always going to respond, whatever it is, you know, just be respectful, because sometimes I get some nonsense, you know.
Yeah.
Always be respectful, please. You know, my DMs are always open.
Yes.
But you can always message me on Instagram. You can find my music on Beatboard. I would appreciate the support. Spotify, find me on every major, basically, platform out there for music. My performances will always be on YouTube. You know, I appreciate the support, you know. But at the end of the day, I have a plan that's coming up. I want to experience the world a little bit more.
Yeah.
Not just as a DJ, as well as a person.
Yeah.
Because I feel like being a DJ recently it's like you run from one thing to the other, and there's no stopping.
There's no stopping.
Yeah, and I miss just sitting in front of the water and be like,
And
yo,
taking it in.
the
and
sunrise,
whatnot,
man.
right?
I'm a sunset guy, but recently I've become a sunrise guy
Sunrise?
just because I'm getting out of the club. I have no choice.
yeah.
So like, you know.
Sets occur in both scenarios on the DJ.
My
note,
God,
but
like-
yeah.
Miss the sunset because you're preparing for the sunrise.
Yeah, like you're getting out of the club. Oh, it's too bright. I'm gonna go inside. Just sleep in
Now
the
you're
club.
embracing the other end of it.
You just don't know, man. You think you're one thing and then you become the other. It's just, it's all about acceptance. And I think just walking with and accepting things. But really, I think I'm like I said, I have a plan of like just traveling, decompressing right now, along with doing my tour. I'm still gonna do shows.
Sure.
Yeah.
Have really cool stuff coming up. Like I am doing remixes. I'm doing a lot of music production, and you know, I think it's going to be released in the right time. We're working with the team on that.
Yes.
We are working on a lot of collaboration from different countries, different cultures right now with the team. Again, the team is Berlin Records. We're if you see us in our city, please come support. We really appreciate it.
Is your team based here? I mean, they're based in different cities.
No,
and stuff?
different around the world.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
when we meet, it's like multiple languages from multiple cultures,
Oh,
different
great.
accents just coming
That's
together.
amazing, amazing.
And I'm right here. I don't understand what you just said. I
Right.
don't understand what you just said. You know, the team cracks up. You know, we just laugh and we're recruiting. You know, we're always recruiting. So like, if you want. You've got the skills. You want the experience in the music industry. We are here for you. You know, we just need the work ethic, integrity, and some people good vibes. You know, and come. We will teach you. Work with us, and you know, we promise you we can provide a lot of things. You know, we're always looking for people to work with us. So. Same for me, you know, always looking for collabs. Hopefully soon you will see us running our own festivals, our own parties.
I'm looking forward to it, man. You know, and I know that you're about to, you know, you're about, you know, making big things and big moves. And I know that, you know, we'll be there 100% to support you, you know, and your endeavors and stuff like that. And if you see you popping around town, I don't know, you're moving out of town?
Yeah.
Okay.
Completely.
Out of the state or out of the
out of the country for a while.
Out of the country.
Yeah, out of the
So
country
cool.
for a while. I'm just gonna go and, like I said, decompress. Take a couple sunsets and sunrises
That's
while
awesome.
performing. I'm
you.
gonna come back to the States in June for another tour, and along with Canada, I have a few festivals to play, and then I have a few shows to do in Canada, and I'm probably gonna pop into Europe, and potentially, if everything goes well. It's gonna go as the States, Canada, South America again, run to Europe, and then from Europe to Africa, and then return
Not too shabby.
back to the States. We'll see.
Yeah.
That's great, man. You know,
That sounds exhausting just talking about it.
I
but-
know. I was just thinking that.
I've got envy.
I was just thinking that.
I'm player hating.
I'm like, you know, that takes a lot of effort, not effort, but a lot of energy just to keep up and then travel and things like that. And, you know, I was just, you know,
I would
gonna commend you for keeping
Thank you.
that energy going and accomplishing those things that, you know, you want to get done. And it's not easy. I'm sure it's not easy to go out there and, like you said, you know, you're jumping from place to place.
And you're just in a different culture. Like sometimes you don't know the language.
Yes.
You know, it's like there's a language barrier. You have no idea what was just said, but you got no idea but to smile. You know, like
I'm guessing you
smile
have
and wave, boy, smile and wave.
some kind of bilingual, trilingual. I bet you. So you can hold your own in Greece, Germany, maybe a little Arabic. I don't know, English, Espanol, all of the above.
I try.
Legend.
It's languages as you practice them as they stay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't practice them, obviously you don't. And there is one thing I would love to add actually before the idea runs out of my mind. To airports, please, if you can have gym members and showers at the airports, I would really love that.
You heard that, airports.
Come on, RDU.
Get your game up.
Please, Peter, like, come on, give me like a gym membership, a shower, and I'll be a new man. That would be great.
That's genius, man.
We need to pull our money together and just like invest in that or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, man, if I can be an investor in a gym membership inside airports, I would take my money.
Yeah.
Well, Kaÿ, thank you, man, for being our guest here at the Vinyl Underground podcast, man. You're an amazing guy, amazing energy. You know, we like to see more of you and see, you know, all these steps you're taking to take your career to the next level. You know, Tim and I will be
Yeah,
there, you
we
know,
will.
rooting,
You guys are
and
awesome,
rooting
by
for
the
you
way.
guys,
Yeah.
and rooting for your team
Likewise,
and
we
Berlin
like it.
Records. Man, you guys are doing some awesome stuff, and the music you're putting out is amazing.
Thank you.
You know, you have all your everyone can reach, you know, Kaÿ at the platforms you just mentioned. Make sure to look him up, and support him. And thank you to all our viewers and subscribers. You know, please remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. When you see your sunsets, you're chill.
Yeah.
You know, and then we would like Kaÿ's he's gonna be in the Zen moment.
I am 100%. I'm gonna let you know that I'm coming back here. I love this vibe.
Please.
I will
Please,
definitely
bro.
come back. Yes.
And Kaÿ, I wanted to add, I don't know if we covered it, and maybe we did, but this Friday, Raleigh, because this is part about the underground growing scene
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
talk
I
about
like
it.
the
And we'll
city,
be
man.
there.
Yeah.
Where with the specific, is there a name for that place?
I don't
I
know.
know it's a warehouse.
It's a warehouse place. It's underground.
So it's part of the series we have. It's called Techno Nacht. We
Yeah.
have like a series that runs across the world.
Right.
It's called Techno Nacht World. You can
Yes.
follow us on Instagram as well.
Yes.
It's powered by Berlin Records, and we take over kind of venues and we run the underground of vibe, you know,
Right.
Yeah.
techno and stuff like that.
I
So
noticed
it's a
that.
secret underground. It's a secret warehouse. And,
Yes,
you know, we
I got
love
you.
doing
We'll-
that kind of
we'll have some fun with
vibe,
that,
Yeah,
but-
secret warehouse where you get to find the address. We send it to you last minute after
Yeah. Love
it.
purchasing the ticket. You know,
Yes,
it
yes.
kind of also like protects the idea of like, hey, people are here for the music. You bought a
Yes.
ticket. You put the effort in it. Now we can, you know, you're going in for a purpose and intention because it's a big deal to me. And then it's like, okay, I have the intention to go rave today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Yes.
going to rave, so I worked a little bit to get that address, and now I'm gonna go
course.
get that vibe, you know,
You bet.
rather than just walking in a club, you know.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
So the promoters just like with you and your team, or the promoters are
we have multiple more, so we're collaborating with the Line in Argentina.
Got it. That's what I was looking at, yeah.
Rethink Techno from
Rethink Techno from
from
Charlotte.
Pangea. Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna be at Pangea. Yeah, most likely I'll be out
Wow.
there too.
Yeah, I'm
man.
playing in
yeah.
Pangea.
Find a
Yeah,
way
I'm
to
playing
get
in.
there.
I'm
Yeah,
coming back for Pangea.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That's
I
right.
love that
I'll
festival.
see you out there. If I don't see
Saw
you
it on
soon, I'll see you in
stage.
Pangea.
Yeah, you'll
man.
see you there.
Yeah.
We'll rave and we party, you know what I mean?
Coordinate
Yeah.
going together or whatever. I'll follow you until.
Cool. So you
that's-
could go,
That's
man.
a therapeutic.
Let's go, man.
That's right.
Let's go. It's a party.
Yeah.
You know, you got
Yeah.
a couple hundred people in the forest, kind of just partying. What
Yes.
else you want? You know?
Right.
You know, so like we collaborating with them to bring something unique together, and hopefully we can put it up. It's gonna be a boiler room. As you
Nice.
guys know, I'm a big fan of boiler room because
Yeah.
it's intimate. You know, just people around
Yes,
dancing, and you
yes.
get. And I'm the person that wants like, hey, let's. We're all in that
Yeah.
set. I'm not doing trends. I'm just twisting knobs. You guys
Yeah.
are the energy. You
Hey, but
know?
you have a powerful style. I've seen you from it. It's just like, you know, it's funny how everybody's got different postures, but I just like watching you play. You look
Yeah.
strong doing it.
Thank you, thank you, man, thank you.
Passionate, right? Very-
Right.
Yeah,
Random
I put
attachment.
every ounce of my cellular body into that thing. You know, like
do.
I'm not just twisting a knob. I'm twisting a frequency, and I'm
course,
responsible of that every millimeter of it.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's not just a twist.
Yeah.
It's not just a transition. It's not just an effect. It's calculated by the moment, at least by my side, where I'm everything is there
Yeah.
in that moment. So
Yeah.
that's why after my performance, sometimes I ride like a psychopath in the car, you know, just not listening to anything, not talking. I'm just like peace out, you know, like
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
10 minutes until the sun comes up. You know?
Sensory overload. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. Like I said, you know, that's let's party this weekend. Yeah.
Hey,
Damn
Kaÿ,
right.
Thank you a lot. Thank you again, Kaÿ,
Thank you
for
guys so
coming
much.
through,
I know, we
man,
appreciate
and giving us your time. And yes, we'll hope to see you soon. And stay lit, man.
Stay visual.
Yeah.
Stay
Be
visual.
you, 'cause it's
Right.
working.
100%. Thank you
Yep.
so much. Yeah, that's like my advice to everybody. Just like
Yeah.
coming up, like, hey, just be you, man. You know,
Yeah.
do your music, do your thing. Don't try to fit in, you know, because if you try to fit in, you're gonna lose something. You know,
Yeah.
the more you try to put into energy into fitting in, the more you're gonna lose yourself because it's a two sided of the coin and you can't flip it at the same time. So it's like it's one. Just keep it balanced. You know.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just don't sell your soul to get something. Just
That's
stay
important.
where you are. Yeah,
That's
it's
important.
very important.
That's
So,
important.
thank you
man.
guys
Thank
again
you.
for having me. Really
Yes, sir.
appreciate it.
Always, brother.
And much
sir.
love
It's
to all
fun.
our audience. Love you guys. Thank you for
Thank you,
support.
guys.
Thank you
Thank
guys
you,
too.
audience. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right. Out.
Thanks for listening to the Vinyl Underground. If you love the vibe, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share. Want to support the scene? Follow us on Instagram at CrowdControlNC and at the Vinyl Underground Podcast and at Tony Technique. Stay underground, and we'll catch you next time on the Vinyl Underground.